Mikel Rafanelli. When she became pregnant at 22, Mikel Rafanelli had no idea what was going to happen to her. She, a completely normal young woman, suddenly saw her hips widen and expand significantly. 20 years and 4 children later, Mikel Rafanelli now has the widest hips in the world. She is 1.64 meters tall with hips measuring nearly 2.5 meters in circumference. Far from developing a complex, Mikel Rafanelli consumes nearly 5,000 calories a day to maintain her shape. Quipping, because Asian hair is very strong and deeply rooted, it has a better chance of setting records than fine or curly hair. In 1973, when she was just 13, the Chinese girl Quipping decided to let her hair grow. 30 years later, on May 8, 2004, it measured more than 6.62 meters. Since then, Quipping has hired an assistant who exclusively takes care of her hair. The world's smallest woman, just a bit taller than a soda bottle, Jodi Amj is the world's smallest woman. She measures 63 centimeters and suffers from achondroplasia, a bone disease that causes dwarfism. Jodi is rather lucky to have a well-proportioned body. Most individuals with achondroplasia are disproportionate, which affects their quality of life daily. Charity Pierce is a 39-year-old woman from Houston, Texas, who in 2014 weighed 346 kilos. Her daughter and fiancé had to do everything for her, as she could not even go to the bathroom alone. In fact, the toilets were not strong enough to support her weight. An American TV show followed Charity Pierce in her struggle to lose weight. A year later, she weighed only 226 kilos. The Illustrated Woman, Julia News, had a completely normal life until she was 35 when she was diagnosed with porphyria. Porphyria is an incurable disease that manifests as skin rashes in areas exposed to the sun. Julia's skin was so sensitive that she couldn't go outside without it blistering immediately. Julia News made a radical decision to tattoo every centimeter of her skin. Now more than 95% of her body is covered in tattoos. Mandy Sellers, the woman with endless legs. Mandy Sellers is 40 years old and British. What makes Mandy extraordinary are her legs, which alone weigh 95 kilos, about 30 kilos more than the average woman's weight. In January 2010, due to a risk of septicemia, doctors decided to amputate her left leg, which then weighed 31 kilos. Several months later, the limb grew back. Mandy Sellers is one of 200 people in the world living with Proteus syndrome, which causes her large legs. Kathy Young. In the United States, Kathy Young is nicknamed the Queen of Corsets. And for good reason. She has the smallest waist in the world. An enthusiast of tight lacing, a practice that involves gradually reducing waist size using a very tight corset, Kathy Young started training in 1983. Since then, she wore a corset day and night, removing it only to take a shower. The result is undeniable. Without a corset, Kathy Young's waist measures 58 centimeters. With a corset, it is reduced by a third to only 38 centimeters, the circumference of a 15-centimeter diameter CD. The human Barbie. No, you're not dreaming. At just 21 years old, the Ukrainian Valeria Lukyanova has become the living double of the Barbie doll. Imposing chest, extremely slim waist, endless legs, and an angelic face. It took no less than 10 surgical interventions for this young woman to resemble her icon. As a result, Valeria looks more like a virtual character than a human being. Her waist is completely disproportionate to the rest of her body, and her fixed face now perfectly resembles a manga character. The vampire woman, Maria Kristerna, wanted to prove to herself and the rest of the world that she was a strong woman. After a failed marriage and years of domestic violence, Maria got tattooed, had her face pierced, and had metal rods implanted in her forehead. She is now nicknamed the Vampire Woman, but Maria is more than just an appearance. She is also a professional and dedicated lawyer who tries to save women who are victims of domestic violence and uses the attention she receives to do good around her. Bishein, Maria Hills, alias Bishein, is a 31-year-old German woman with the largest silicone breasts in the world. Each of them weighs no less than 9 kilos. This chest is obviously not natural. She enlarged her breasts using implants and saline solution. Very proud of the result, Bishein loves the attention she gets, and her only concern is finding clothes that fit her breast size. We agree, as incredible as they are, these women are all just as beautiful as each other. Don't hesitate to tell us which ones you preferred in the comments. You can also give a thumbs up and share this video on Facebook, Twitter, and I'll see you soon.